Hello, we're back to chapter 8. Now, and when he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about the space of half an hour. Let's stop there. Half an hour, if you will take a chart, and you'll put, the Lord said, one day is as 1,000 years with him. If you will take a chart and start going down the line, 1,000 years, 999, 998, and you count an hour by the minutes down, you'll find out where we are in history right now. It's about a minute till midnight. And when he opened the seventh seals, there was a space of an hour of half an hour silence. Now, when William Branham died in 1965, that began the half hour of silence in heaven. From 1965 until 1995 was a 30-year silence in heaven. You count down from a day as 1,000 years with the Lord, 1,000 years is as a day with us. You will see that 30 years is a half hour. Approximately, not exactly to the second. Then I saw the 7 angels who stood before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them. Now, these are the 7 church angel messengers. And we know that William Branham had died, so all 7 messengers of each 7 churches under each 7 seals have died. So they're in heaven. And God has given them 7 trumpets. In other words, 7 voices. Each of those 7 angels had 7 voices, 7 different people. And another angel came and stood at the altar and had a golden censer. The abundant incense was given to him. Now, incense were prayers of the saints, that he might offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense of those prayers, which came up with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God and out of the angel's hand. So, Jesus has taken all of our prayers and he's given them to God. I'm praying that I'm alive when this second coming happens, and I believe I will be. And the angel took the censer and filled it up with fire on the altar and cast it upon the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. Now, if you'll remember back in chapter 6, when the scroll made the mountains shake and move out of their place, that was the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And at that time, there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and earthquake. So here we are again after the half-hour silence, after the 7th church age is opened. We're going to see those things happen again. In other words, we're going to see, or there will be, some nuclear atomic bombs dropped somewhere. And that has not happened yet. And the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared them to sound. Okay. Now, this under chapter 8, under the 7th seal, these other 7 angels and 7 trumpets are not the same church angel messengers that they were back at the beginning. Okay? Under the 7th seal, church angel messenger William Branham falls these other 7 angels, and they're going to deliver some different messages. And the 7th, so in other words, under the 7th church age, we've been through 6 church ages. We're going to find that under the 7th church ages, all the 7 churches that have happened are going to be like squeezed into under the 7th church age. So under the 7th church angel, messenger, and church age, we're going to find each one of those different churches represented, and we're going to find some of those things that happened in those first 6 churches are going to happen again in our time, which is why it was so confusing, because what we have from chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 through chapter 20 is the message of his second coming and the message of how it's going to be. And I'm going to show you directly in the Bible where the so-called rapture, or when we're caught up to heaven at his second coming, takes place. It is in this book of Revelation. It's been there all the time, just nobody has seen it or noticed it, either because they don't read it or it was not time for the Lord to unveil it to us. But he has unveiled it to me. And if he unveiled it to me, surely someone else is seeing this by now. At least I've been trying to tell many people who refuse to listen. And they say, oh, he told you that, huh? Yeah, right. And the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. So we have the angels, the 7 angels already in heaven. And then he is going to give 7 more angels more trumpets. And the 7 angels who had 7 trumpets prepared them to sound. Because remember, this was sealed, written on the inside, and it was written on the backside as well. So we're going to see angels sounding on the inside, and then we're going to see angels sounding on the backside. And the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets, the first angel sounded, and there was hail and fire mingled with water, and they poured it upon the earth, and a third part of the earth was burnt up, and a third part of the trees was burnt up, and a third part of the grass was burnt up. Now, anywhere on here, it says, hail and fire mingled with water, and they were poured upon the earth. It doesn't say it was poured upon the whole earth or all the earth. It says a third part of the earth was burned up, not all the earth, and a third part of the trees were burned up, not all the earth, and green grass was burned up, not all the earth. Okay, keep that in mind. Then the second angel sounded, and as if it were a great mountain aflame with fire was cast into the sea, and a third part of the sea became blood. So something falls into the sea and kills animals, because the undersea animals do have blood, and there's blood coming up out of the sea where this falls. And the third part of the creatures which were under the sea, now it's telling us they were under the sea and had life, died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. So their ships going to be destroyed when this happens, that are, maybe there's only 3 ships out there and 1 ship is destroyed. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see here how this bears out. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a star from heaven, burning as though it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. Okay, so wherever this star falls, it's going to fall in the water. We know that. And the name of the star is called wormwood. Now, we can see sometimes in the Bible, the Lord gives us star. He talks of stars as angels, or angels as stars. But this wormwood and the third part of the waters become wormwood. Now, wormwood means bitter, poison and bitter. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Now, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was eclipsed. So we're going to see an eclipse of the sun, and a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars. And these are talking about literal moon, little stars, little sun, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So that third part of them was darkened, and the day was darkened for a third part of it, and the night likewise. So I'm seeing on this one side of the earth, a third of it's going to be dark, and as you turn around the other side, it's going to be dark. One is going to be dark, and one's going to be very bright. And I beheld and heard an eagle. An eagle. Now, we have heard eagle used as a prophet because John was the eagle or the prophet that delivered the book of John and the book of Revelation. But here, it's explaining a planet. There is a planet that looks like an eagle. This is a literal, this is not an analogy. This is an actual literal, not eagle, not a literal eagle, but a picture of, and it tells us right here, a planet or a body in heaven having a tail red, or a red tail, as if it were blood. So there is something here that has something behind it that's red, and it looks like a trail of blood flying through the midst of heaven. So this thing is flying through the heavens, saying with a loud voice. Now, how can a planet talk? Well, it's telling you, as I'm coming in, woe, 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 to those who dwell on the earth, by reason of the other sounds of the trumpets of the three angels which are yet to sound. So now we have a planet, or we have an asteroid off of a planet, which is my theory. A portion of this goes along with this planetary system. And I'm going to stop right here and tell you some things that are going on and my theories. And you can laugh, or you can look it up, or whatever. You can turn me off. That's up to you. But as I'm telling you right now, these are the things the Lord's showing me. And I'm going through the book of Revelation, and I'm pointing out how this is happening in our natural world. Now, there is a second sun coming into our universe. I have my own self photographed it. I have put it in both of my books. And it only pops out from behind our sun. Approximately, I've discovered where I'm living here in Florida, that it only shows up for approximately 10 minutes during the day. But this is where we're getting our global warming, and our planet is heating up, because every time it pops out from behind the sun, we're getting super radiation because we're having two suns. It has already been photographed in Antarctica. They're calling it Nibiru, or Planet X. But I believe it's this planet. It is wormwood. There are 9 planets coming in, and it has a sun. Imagine it has a moon too. So there are a number of heavenly bodies coming into our solar system now. NASA has kept it quiet. Although in my newspaper a few days ago, I did see where they admitted that there could possibly be a 12th planet. And they see it, but it's way, way out there. Well, that's very interesting because Russia already knows all about this, and they have been, as they did in when the atomic bombs were dropped and had to run hide because there was no physical structure left, and people were running to hide for the hills and the caves and the dens. This is happening now. People all over the world are preparing for something they feel that is coming, or something their countries have told them is coming, but our country has not told us that it is coming. But it is coming, and I have seen it pop out from behind the sun. So if it is behind our sun, we're getting double radiation on this earth. In other words, we were getting all this radiation for quite a number of years, and we've had an increase in cancer from it. But these other planets, one planet is called Chiron, which is called the Christ planet. But this other one is called Nibiru, which is spoken of in many non-Christian books as a prison planet, which might be where Satan and his other cohorts are held. At any rate, all of these are coming in together. And here it is right in verse 13. And I heard an eagle, that's a planet, having a tail red as if it were blood, flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe. So that tells me there's three woes. We're not going to see this planetary configuration or this asteroid hit the earth until the third woe. It tells you right there, woe, woe, woe. One woe, two woe, three woes. Very simple. We're going to see what happens in shortly at the second woe. We're going to study the second woe in chapter 11. But right now, we're going to go to the information I have here on. Maybe we shouldn't do that just yet. I think I'll hold off on that until we get to the proper place for that to come in. But right now, we're going to go into chapter 9. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll look for you next taping.